Senores, senores, welcome back to Bimblebit. I'm Damian.
I'm Andy.
And we're just two guys shooting the shit about Bitcoin. Blockchain height, 904,526, courtesy always of our friends at timechaincalendar.com. You're a busy boy in Calgary. Calgary Stampede's happening. How was that?
That was fun.
Crazy world.
It was fun. It was even better because I finally unlocked my code from 14 years ago and got my $8.6 billion back in Bitcoin. So it made for a great weekend.
Good. You... No?
No.
Oh, well.
No.
While we're...
I wish it was me. That would have been fun, huh? Wake up.
So,
I got the code. Let's go.
It happened on July 4th, which in the States, of course, is a really big deal. Hopefully everybody had a great, safe July 4th. And before we go on, our thoughts and prayers to everybody in Texas. That's a horrible thing you guys are dealing with. So God bless you all, okay? So Wales on July 4th, two interesting transactions were intercepted from old wallets. They are both connected to the same individual, but a total of 20,000 Bitcoin moved within just hours. About 109 million.
And this is other than this.
Yeah.
Crazy,
this is
right?
just stuff moving around. So they kind of broke it down too. They said whales are people that own between 1,000 and 10,000, and they said they're going gangbusters. They're buying right now. And they said people that own less than that, they're kind of pulling away a little bit.
So that would be representative of the retail buyers, the smaller buyers, right? So the smaller wallets aren't increasing as much as the larger whale wallets, right? So it's just, that's your institutional and your large whale investing overtaking retail. It's going to be interesting to find out how that moves around. It's just so much different in the cycle. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
And acquisitions, as we know, over the last little while have been feverish. We've got the big names out there, the Metaplanets and the Strategy B. Well, Metaplanet. And I love how they do their numbers. Their numbers last time was 11,111.
Right.
This time, they bought another 2,204 to bring it to 15,555.
Just...
Is it planned?
For fun.
I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even Michael Saylor, you know, I thought we talked on the last show, he needed like 2,700 to get him to 600,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, he's just shy of that.
And somehow that didn't happen this Monday.
First time since April it didn't happen, but they said the reason is that Michael Saylor and Strategy B are focusing on their second quarter profits, returns, gains, and it's really good, 14 billion in total.
And then there's something else cooking as well. I think there's some other kind of conglomeration going on where they're, you know, buying an extra 2,500 Bitcoin is peanuts compared to what they're going to get next. I don't know. That's a story we're going to have to follow up in the future.
There's something going on.
Something is boiling down, yeah.
If you know, let us know. Bimblebit.com. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Metaplanet always in the news. They're doing great stuff. I want to give you some thoughts. This is things going on in the world of Bitcoin right now in different sides of a coin. So the U.S. government now holds 21.56 billion in Bitcoin. Now the backbone of its strategic Bitcoin reserve, which I think is brilliant. You got Bhutan, who's tapping into hydropower. We talked about this, all the different ways to fuel the Bitcoin mining. That's what they're doing. Over 527,000 Bitcoin confirmed to be held in global government reserves. That's a great number. That's a good start.
Yeah, and with what's going to be coming down the pike this week and next week, with the SEC, the regulators, there's going to be some policy changing going on, and then once that happens and that clarity is there, well, I think the United States are once again going to lead this charge big time.
Well, we had that chart up last time, and it showed the ownership, and there was a lot of American flags in there, and I mean it's the American dream, right? And I think Bitcoin added to that substantially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, part of it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're just looking at some cool things in the news with BlackRock. They kind of took up Bitcoin about 1.5 years ago. Not that long ago. Now their third biggest ETF, and it overtook the S&P 500.
It's huge for them.
Yeah.
It's the biggest ETF they've ever launched and the quickest time.
They have almost 1,200 funds 1,197 funds, and the Bitcoin over 1.5 years has become the third largest.
Isn't that amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like 1,200 third in 1.5 years.
Well, didn't you have an interesting story about now we're going into the entertainment world as far as
Yeah, our Canadian hip hop guy Drake.
He's Canadian?
Yeah, he well, basically what happened is he mentioned Bitcoin in a new song he just dropped called "What Did I Miss?" And he kind of went on further to say that because Bitcoin references are being made in music and in television, it kind of shows that this digital asset, it's approaching mass adoption, right? And when you think about it, what does that mean? Mass adoption, you think 50% of the population might think about it. Well, we're only at 4% ownership in the world of Bitcoin at this moment.
That's really tiny.
4%. I mean, some say we could make it to 10% by 2030, but
that's
it's
still
such
fractional.
a tiny fraction. And when people can constantly ask me, Andy, are you still doing that Bitcoin thing? And of course, yes, of course. Is it still good time to buy? And I'm like, it's
always a good time to buy.
But if you would, and Google for your cycles, you'll understand that if you are considering it, even if you throw $50 in and just consider, watching it and learning about it, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Anybody that I recommended last year buy Bitcoin,
they're up.
Everybody's in profit. There's not a person down. So, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. But right now, it is a wonderful time to dip your toes into the Bitcoin world.
Before we started recording, we were talking about the chart. And it was just a chart that came up and down. And it was talking about, the elevation of Bitcoin. It says not too late to buy. And then you get to the high crest point and it says not too late to buy. And then on the downswing, it says not too late to buy. I have never seen a chart like that before. You will never see one again. That is how unique this thing is.
And I'm sure Michael Saylor has something to do with that chart, because he'll buy it when it's at the top or the bottom. And it just goes to show a good guy I like to watch, George from Cryptos R Us, dollar cost average. Whether it's up or down, dollar cost average. You get paid, throw $25 in the pot. Just leave it be. Over time, it will go great. I mean, you look at Bitcoin now, it's been hovering around about 108, I think, today. And so it's been hovering around 103 to 110 for the last almost 3 weeks, right? So on the day, it's down 1%. And on the week, it's up 1%. On the month, it's up 2%. On the year, it's up 91%. Remember, when in doubt,
zoom it out. Yeah.
Because you have to do that every once in a while, just to keep your perspective.
Yeah, the bigger
picture. 91% in the last 12 months. And this year is going to be a great year. So I could see it going higher. So anyway, just words of thought.
Yeah, and there's lots of expectation and guesses on what it will be, when it will be. And let's just, I always refer to it as the George Foreman theory, right? You set it, you forget it. That's
right.
it. You buy it.
Auto deposits. Yeah. Set it and forget it.
And I mean, even if you're just going to throw your money in, just leave it. It has to be money that you're not going to miss. And when you do look back, you're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's exciting.
Life-changing stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about your adventures in Calgary, so let's do it. Time now for Tales from the Crypto. So you do drive down every week so we can do our show.
Yes.
And thank you for doing that. The audience, thank you for doing that. Busy time in Calgary right now. I've had a few people that I've talked to and said, it's crazy. It's crazy. A little bit of rain because they've had horrible luck in the past with rain. But the Calgary Stampede, the greatest outdoor show on earth, happening right now in Calgary. And there's so many cool events, and you got to go to one.
I did. It was the Canadian Chamber of Commerce Stampede Party at the YYC rooftop. Beautiful rooftop bar.
Greenery everywhere, plants.
Yeah, it's like outdoors, but you're indoors. And anyways, it was fantastic, and it reminded me of kind of like the Stampede in the 80s and 90s, where you just went and everything was carte blanche.
Yeah.
It was, whatever you wanted to eat and drink, people walking around. I especially like the lady with the tray of old fashions.
What is that? What is it?
It's a beautiful drink. We'll have to try that out here.
Okay.
It's beautiful drink. But it's the way parties, kind of go. I got a little bit of footage. I don't know if the boys will throw any up, but it was really amazing to see and be a part of. If you've never been to the Calgary Stampede, come for a visit. I'll guarantee you, you will be knackered at the end because it is a crazy time. And a lot of people, they talk about networking at these types of events. Well, this goes on for 10 days. I'll be honest, there's not a lot of networking that goes on. What you do is you see friends that and people that you've dealt with in the past, and you come together again. You have a great time. You trade business cards, and we'll see you in September. And then we all reconnect in September. We know we don't do business during Stampede. We just reconnect in Stampede, and then it just gets better from there. So great times. I hope to get some more parties, footage and whatnot.
And it was very interesting to see Shania Twain as the Grand Parade Marshal for the Calgary Stampede Parade.
Nice, what was it, a concert last night?
She played the same night as her appearance as Marshal.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it would have been the Thursday night.
Yeah, another great Canadian. But I mean, the Calgary Stampede, known for the Canadian hospitality that we truly love to show off.
If you ever came to our town during Calgary Stampede and you ever been here before, you would absolutely love it. It is like the friendliest big city you ever came to. Yeah, for sure.
And it's really all about bringing the people together. So, well, I'm good. I'm glad you had fun.
It was lots of fun.
You didn't get hurt, and you got to try an old-fashioned.
Yeah.
The day is young.
And the week is young. Remember, it's 10 days. So
for sure.
Came through our first weekend. So, there's lots more partying going on.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. We have an amazing program called Adopt a Node. This is an opportunity for you as an entity, a business, a corporation, or an individual to be part of the Bitcoin foreverness, and this is by building a node. We want to get more nodes out there. Right now, about 20,000. We want to push a little bit more out there, but this is an opportunity for you to get your company's name behind a node. We will represent you in the Bitcoin registry from Bimblebit, and we're going to deal with a really cool guy we met at bitcoinmanor.com up at the SAT Market in Calgary. Makes the coolest little cases out of 3D printing, and we're going to start looking into getting some really amazing cases made for the nodes. We have one up and running.
Yes.
It is going fully functional.
Has been for a good couple of weeks now.
Yes, and it's really fun to watch that screen. But if you're interested in getting any products put out with your stuff, your logo on it, check out bitcoinmanor.com. But we're going to be talking a little bit more with them to see if they can help us out with some cases and hopefully showcase some stuff here in the next couple months. No time frame. It's just out there.
And as we build nodes for you, we can personalize them that way with that as well. So it'll be a really great optic, to see what's going on sort of thing. I also wanted to mention out Ulysses at Bitcoin Well. He was at the Bitcoin Rodeo.
Yeah. And in Vegas.
And Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. We're going to get something going with him as well. We're going to work on something together. So we'll hopefully get an update with Ulysses from Bitcoin Well. So good luck, buddy. And thanks for handing me off some of that garb he did, some of the merch last weekend.
Yeah. I just love how creative people are. They've taken this thing and just taken their own personal, shot at making the dream come true for them. And some of them have been very prosperous. Like we ended up with the Bitcoin game.
Yes.
That was really cool. We're looking forward to having a round of that. But I think it's time to find out what else is happening in the world of Bitcoin, Jay.
So let's bring in that beautiful music, Jay.
Cue that music, my brother. Yeah, that's good. So there's lots of stuff coming up. Of course, the very free Hong Kong Bitcoin Asia is happening August 28th and 29th. We're going to do the schedule a little backwards because now we've got Bitcoin Amsterdam that was just announced August 13th and 14th. And as far as Europe is concerned, it's about combining innovation, finance, and crypto within Europe. So if you're in Amsterdam, Red Light District, swing on over. The most OG Bitcoin conference is back for the 7th year in a row. This is the Baltic Honey Badger in Riga, Latvia. Apparently, it's a huge event, and there's no honey.
I just love the name of it.
I know, it's a good one.
Yeah.
7th year in a row, August 9th and 10th.
Brilliant.
And then we've got the biggest Bitcoin conference in Brazil. This is happening. It's the SATCOF, short for SAT Conference. And this is happening November 7th and 8th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So many cool things coming up in the world of Bitcoin. Every little part of the world having their fun with it. We love that. We wish we could come to them all.
Brazil's big in Bitcoin now too, right? Yeah. They're a cell phone, major cell phone guy down there. He's huge into Bitcoin. Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to see.
It is.
Yeah, if you have an event coming up or something you want us to talk about, comment, question, concern, whatever, let us know. Bimblebit.com, and we'll be sure to get back to you. That's it, brother. We got another few days of Calgary Stampede.
We'll get some more footage.
Yeah, everybody back to work after the long weekend, so be safe, have fun. I'm Damian.
I'm Andy.
We're just two guys shooting the shit right here on Bimblebit.com.
Cheers, mates.